On Monday, we learned that white South Africans arrived in the U.S. with refugee status, despite Trump's complete suspension of the U.S. refugee admissions programs. Trump said that the U.S. had essentially extended citizenship to the group of Afrikaners because he said they were victims of a genocide. Critics say that many immigrants that Trump is targeting for deportations are in the U.S. for similar reasons as the white South Africans. But for certain immigrants, it seems that Trump has no problem disregarding their refugee protections and deporting them anyway. The next day, a Wisconsin judge is indicted on accusations that she helped a man evade immigration agents. Prosecutors say Judge Dugan helped Eduardo Flores Ruiz evade ICE agents by escorting him through a back door. And today, a grand jury assessed the charges that there was enough probable cause to continue the case. Judge Dugan maintains that she's innocent and looks forward to being vindicated in court. Critics say that this is just one of many ways Trump is trying to intimidate judges or anyone else who doesn't bow down to his agenda. On Wednesday, the EPA announced plans to weaken limits on some forever chemicals in drinking water, roughly a year after the Biden administration finalized the first ever national standards. This is part of President Trump's agenda to roll back environmental regulations that will aid in more oil and gas development. Critics say that the EPA cannot legally weaken these regulations, and that the Safe Water Drinking Act includes a provision that prevents new rules from being looser than the previous ones. The next day, we learned that Trump's military parade could cost up to $45 million. The parade will be on June 14th to celebrate both the Army's 250th anniversary and Trump's birthday. While the Secretary of Defense says the parade is for honoring the sacrifice of American troops who secured our country's independence, critics say that this parade is wasteful, over the top, and mainly for sustaining Trump's ego. Then on Friday, Trump attacks two musicians on Truth Social as he flies back from his Middle East trip. Trump said Bruce Springsteen ought to keep his mouth shut until he gets back into the country, then we'll see how it goes. Trump said this after Springsteen criticized his presidency at a concert in England, saying, "The America I love is currently in the hands of a corrupt, incompetent, and treasonous administration. They are rolling back historic civil rights legislation that has led to a more just and plural society. They are siding with dictators and defunding American universities that won't bow down to their ideological demands." Trump also attacked Taylor Swift by posting, "Has anyone noticed that since I said, 'I hate Taylor Swift, she is no longer hot'?" Taylor hasn't publicly criticized Trump recently, but she's previously compared his presidency to an autocracy and accused him of stoking the fires of white supremacy and racism. The next day on social media, Trump rips into Walmart by saying the retail giant should eat the tariffs and not charge value customers anything. "I'll be watching, and so will your customers." This comes 2 days after Walmart said it will have to raise its prices for the consumer because of Trump's tariffs. Additionally, Trump said Walmart should stop trying to blame tariffs as the reason for raising prices. Of course, critics have pointed out several times that importers are the ones that pay the tariffs, and most likely they'll have to pass those price increases onto the consumers. To appease his base, Trump constantly denies this reality, and has recently said that when the economy is bad, it's the remnants of the Biden economy, but when it's good, it's the Trump economy. Finally, on Sunday, we learned that former President Biden was diagnosed with an aggressive form of prostate cancer. While President Trump sent a nice message to the former president, his MAGA team started drumming up conspiracy theories. Donald Trump Jr. said, "How did Dr. Jill Biden miss this? Or is this yet another cover-up?" Right-wing influencer Benny Johnson said, "This is the most dangerous cover-up in the history of the presidency." And Laura Loomer responded to Kamala Harris by saying, "You have known for over a year. Stop acting." Critics say that this conspiracy theory is just the latest of many that Trump's team tries to keep in the news cycle. And it's well known to scholars that pushing any and all conspiracy theories toward a political opponent like Trump does is typical fascist politics.